Okay, so Adam Schefter might have accidentally leaked who the Eagles open up the 2025 season with. Meanwhile, this veteran wide receiver is being linked to Philadelphia. But that's not all. Could Howie Roseman have another extension up his sleeve? Plus, we do a deep dive film breakdown on Andrew Mukuba, and we have a real conversation about Nakobe Dean's future. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with our Philadelphia Eagles, do your boy a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So as the Philadelphia Eagles prepare for OTAs, which is around May 20th, two veterans that were on the team last year decided to change numbers. As I mentioned before, Kelee Ringo will now be wearing the number 7, which was free for him to change to once the Eagles traded Kenny Pickett to the Cleveland Browns. The other veteran is Jahan Dodson, who will be wearing the jersey number 2, which is available due to the departure of Big Play Slay to the Steelers. I'm not trying to make too much of it. However, sometimes a nice little switch, whether it's a team or a jersey, big things happen, and both these guys are going to be pressed to make things happen in 2025. Kelee Ringo trying to be the starting outside corner alongside of Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and Jahan Dodson trying to prove that he can be a legit wide receiver 3 and or a wide receiver 2 on another team simply because he's a free agent after the 2025 season, so this is a contract year for him. So let's see what happens. As for another player in a contract year that I absolutely feel terrible for is Nakobe Dean. After he suffered a patellar tendon injury in the playoffs, now Dean is charged with rehabbing from a very tough injury in the final year of his contract. Meanwhile, the Eagles just made linebacker Zach Bond a top paid linebacker and also used their first round pick on a top linebacker coming out this draft. Although Howie Roseman does see him utilized on the edge as well, I think Jahad Campbell's best attributes is him playing linebacker. And with how much Fangio loves the linebacker position, seeing his face when his name was called says it all. Again, that don't mean he won't play on the edge. I just think that Fangio sees him as a weapon, can utilize all across the field, but I think Fangio believes he's a linebacker. With all that being said, for those who've been following my channel a little bit, know how I feel about Nakobe Dean. I rocked with him all day, every day. When people got off the train and said he was trash, I said, no, the kid is good. He just got to stay on the field. Now, anybody who said I got 9 tackles for loss and 6 quarterback hits, I would love for the rehab to go good. He come back and fit seamlessly with Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond, but understand his injury history and take a team-friendly short extension and see where that takes him. But it gotta be hard watching his draft partners get paid. Second-round pick in 2022, Cam Jurgens, got a big-time extension, and first-round pick in 2022, Jordan Davis had his 5th-year option exercise, keeping him on the team for 2 more years. Again, he's here for the 2025 season, but we do gotta monitor throughout this year. But his main focus gotta be getting healthy and staying healthy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Since we're talking about people playing on their last year of the contract, let's continue. Another defensive player, one of the exciting whites, Reed Blankenship, who I think is one of the most underrated players on this defense. Reed Blankenship's 2024 production, the Ghost had 78 total tackles, 6 passes defended, 4 interceptions, and a fumble recovery in 2024 for the Super Bowl champs. Mind you, this is a former undrafted rookie free agent that a lot of fans were hard on. They expected so much from him, and I think he's shown out in the little time he's been here. Now, the Eagles already extended him one time, 1-year deal, which was really cheap, but he definitely outplayed the contract for what he did in 2024. Now, here's the thing. He's a player that's not well known around the league. So I think if the Eagles do extend him, we're not talking about top tier safety money. I think you can get Reed Blankenship on a 2 to 3 year deal that is really friendly, especially with what other safeties are making across the league. I'm not telling him to take chump change. I just don't see Reed Blankenship being a guy commanding top tier dollar, and the sooner you do it, the better you are off. On that note, you still got Sidney Brown, a former 3rd round pick on a rookie deal. We did bring in Lewis Sign, another Philly dog, who didn't pan out in Minnesota, but was a former first round pick. And we can't forget Andrew Mukuba, the guy we drafted in the second round. Let's look at the film again. He's going to show he's playing in the box, bail out to get an INT with the change of direction speed. Here, he's just going to make this sure tackle, which turns into an incompletion. Not afraid to hit. Speaking of hits, remember the Georgia one? Bang! Destroyed the quarterback. Now we see him playing the too high safety look, but he's going to bail on it because he reads the quarterback to force another incompletion. This time he's in the box, but he's going to read the quarterback's eyes, get in the middle of the zone, and almost get the pick. Now they got him in the middle of the field. As the rat, he's just going to read where the quarterback wants to go and break on the ball. This time we see him off-ball man coverage, but the ability to break on it is there again. Now for anybody questioning his range, look at the distance he travels. Seeing the quarterback's eyes, and he gets the pick. I know it's underthrown, but still. From there, let's just go to his ball skills. Again, he sees the ball, tracks the ball, gets the ball. He's also forever looking to make a hit, whether it's in the pass game or the run game, and has a knack for being around the ball and poking it out. Lastly, look at the patience he has here. Staying in his zone, seeing his teammate get beat, coming down and making a hit, which you love to see. I believe it's going to be Rees Blankenship and Andrew Mukuba as the starting guys. I like Sidney Brown still, but right now he's going to be utilized as depth and maybe some different packages. Injuries happen in the NFL, but let me know your thoughts on the Eagles extending Rees Blankenship. Now, before we talk about Adam Schefter possibly revealing who the Eagles are going to play opening night, let's take a look at the two Eagle players that made it to the Meta Gala. First, we got QB1 Jalen Hurts and his new wife, Bry. And second, we got the Russian champ, Mr. 2K say himself, Saquon Barkley. It's always good to see Eagle players enjoying their offseason. As for a player who used to be on the Eagles, the news came out yesterday after my video. Adam Schefter tweeted, Rams signed wide receiver Britton Covey to a 1-year deal. Now, some people thought that he could be back on a cheap deal due to how good he is as a punt returner. But remember, the Eagles went out this offseason and signed free agent Avery Williams, who specialized in not only punt returns, but also kickoff returns. Nothing crazy here. He didn't take anything to the crib last year, but he did give the Atlanta Falcons good position on punts and kick returns. That's something that Britton Covey don't do. He does punt returns, but he don't do kick returns, so you kill two birds, one stone, and he could be depth at the running back position as a weapon on offense because he plays running back and receiver. More of a running back, but just a legit weapon with the ball in his hand. That being said, I do want to say thanks to Britton Covey. He's a Super Bowl champion. He never really fumbled or caused us any damage or problems, although he used to get cracked when he was returning punts. But shout out to him and good luck with the Rams unless you play our birds. Moving on to Adam Schefter possibly leaking who the Eagles play opening night. The schedule will officially be released May 14th at 8 p.m. We will be going live for it. But listen to this conversation on 97.5 The Fanatic.
If you were to guess that the Eagles open up at home on September 4th with the Rams, the Lions, or the Commanders. Those are the three most desirable home games, I would think.
Aren't the Bears on their schedule too?
Yeah, you would think that would be one. That would be in the mix. It's weird. It's weird. I'm suspicious now that you just brought up the Bears. I'm suspicious now. Now my spidey senses are up. Why did you bring up the Bears?
Well, I'm trying to remember. I remember being on the field with a bunch of league officials in the aftermath of the Eagles win.
Okay.
And I was there, not working, but my daughter was working. She was doing the post-game production for Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And so I happened to have the occasion to be talking to a few of the league officials that night. And I'm like, oh, we can start now thinking about the home opener. And I distinctly remember that night, in the immediate aftermath, for whatever that's worth, okay, before any discussions were had, that somebody brought up the Bears to me. That's why I asked if the Bears are on the schedule.
That's very interesting. Do you trust that person as a reasonable person? Okay, good.
Well, but again, John, I do trust that person. But again, this was before the league had a single conversation about it. That's what I'm saying to you. It doesn't mean much just because the person said it. It was just riffing, top of the mind, yes, I could see the Bears. Okay.
I found that to be interesting. Again, not saying it's the Bears, but if it is, you heard it here first. And that just shows you that the NFL be knowing things before they even really collab about stuff. Now, you might be thinking, why the Bears, not the Commanders, the Lions, or the Rams? Adam Schefter continued to say that the NFL might want the Eagles versus better teams later in the season when more matters, and it's sweepstakes and closer to holidays and this, that, and the third. He also said any team going against the Super Bowl champs, especially the Eagles on opening day, is going to be box office. And I agree. Still, how would you feel about the Eagles playing the Bears opening day? Let me know in the comment section. Lastly, we touch on this article from Bleeding Green Nation saying Philadelphia listed among potential Amari Cooper landing spots. He continued to talk about the depth at wide receiver behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, not really trusting Jahan Dotson, or at least depth even behind Jahan Dotson in case a couple injuries hit us. It'd be good to have a veteran wide receiver. Although Amari Cooper didn't show out for the Bills as it pertains to a lot of production, he did have a couple clutch catches throughout the season, time and time again. When you look at Amari Cooper, the only thing good about this would be you keep him away from Dallas. He signs a one-year deal. He only comes on the field if he absolutely needs to and gives you some good snaps as a quality veteran. He also said because we have Howie Roseman, we're always going to be linked to free agents. I don't even know where this started. Y'all know I believe in Jahan Dotson. If he wasn't here, I think it'd be a good idea simply because we brought in Julio Jones in 2023 for insurance, and he came through a little bit throughout the season, nothing big time, but that's what Amari Cooper would be. So again, if the Eagles went out and made a move like this, I wouldn't be mad, but I'd rather invest whatever you were going to give Amari Cooper, which would probably be dirt cheap, but add that and more into securing Dallas Goedert for at least one more year. With all that being said, let me hear from y'all in the comment section. I go by Philly Mike. This is the Philly Talk Podcast. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, drop the muscle emoji if you're Philly strong, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out.